Who are you and how are you connected to Cambodia?
My name is Steve Rowland. I was in Vietnam in October of '69 to November of '70. I was stationed in Tay Ninh, right there by the fish hook, about 6 to 12 miles from the Cambodia border. Tay Ninh was called Rocket City because it was a lot of rockets and mortars. They hit us every week with that. I mean, it was at least 4 times a week that they rocketed and mortared Tay Ninh, okay? Because it was so close to Cambodia and it was at the end of Highway 1, okay? So that, I was in the first cab, okay? When Nixon came in, he was sick and tired of the Vietnamese, VC, running over to Cambodia and then coming in, sneaking in, hitting us and running back. And we couldn't get them. If we caught them within that gap, it was fine. But then when they hit that line, you know, the country line for Cambodia, we could go get them. So they had a perfect out. So Nixon come up with a deal. Enough's enough, and he was trying to get the North Vietnamese to come to the table and try to stop the war, because it was an unpopular war. Nobody wanted us over there. The United States was totally against it, because guys coming home were talking about it and they had no idea how bad it was over there until people started coming home and talking about different stuff, okay? And on top of that, about that time, the My Lai thing was coming up, you know, was in the United States. It was brought to the attention of the public, right? So Nixon knew he had to do something to get out of Vietnam, and he was trying to do it with honor, okay? So what happened is I got over there in October, and I was assigned to the first cav. The first cav lost their colors in Korea because they let the Koreans come in and Patton pull their colors, okay? So in Vietnam, Westmoreland said that he would want to win the colors back for the first cav. So that's why we were assigned the very first to go in. We were the spearhead of going into Cambodia, okay? And the reason why they went to Cambodia is because he was trying to shorten the war, and he had us go in. But he didn't tell, we were in Cambodia. I was in Cambodia in probably the middle of February. I was in Cambodia already. Nixon didn't tell the American people that we were there, and he said in May that he was going to invade it, okay? But he said when he invaded it, he could only go, I think it was 18 miles. Well, I was working with 1st the 8th, and we found the biggest stash of weapons and rice of that whole campaign. And we went in, we found tons and tons of rice and thousands upon thousands of weapons, grenades, grenade launchers, all their weapons, and we confiscated them, SKSs, okay? And when we went in, we knew it was going to be bad. But we went in and he turned us loose and we went through them like a buzzsaw. But what we found out is how the people, and not only were, you know, Cambodia was hiding the VC, the Vietnamese, the country, the guy that was the dictator over the country was genocide of what he was doing to the people in Cambodia. Well, when we invaded it, that was exposed. And then later on, after when we pulled out, they went in and, it was brought to the public attention of what that guy in Cambodia was doing to the people in Cambodia. So it was twofold. Not only did we have to do it, because it was trying to shorten the war, and which it did, the manpower, we went over with 136 men. And we were there about a month and a half, 2 months, and they brought us back because we lost too many men. Okay? We paid a price for it, but they paid a lot bigger price. Okay? So when that happened, that brought the North Vietnamese to the table to start negotiating and seeing what's going on. Well, they just thought no, and then he started bombing up in Laos and stuff. Okay, Northern Vietnam, he started bombing the hell out of them. But the initial blow was to stop them from retreating to Cambodia and bringing it back. And the people in Cambodia was glad to see us. Now, people don't know this. When we got there, they were glad that the Americans was there. Not only were they being mistreated, the Vietnamese was getting the young men, making them go join the army and fighting for their cause, and it was bad. And so when we came in, they were glad to see us because we exposed what was going on. It wasn't a tactical thing. We went in to take it over because of what they had training camps. They had regular classrooms. They had hooches like houses. That it was like an army base right there in Cambodia, where it was only like 3-4 miles from the Vietnam border. So that was, it was their safe haven, so they could just, that's why it was so critical that we did it. Now, granted, I didn't want to go. And it was no doubt in my mind, this true story. We went in, and they brought us back, and we were all in Tay Ninh, our whole company. And it was Christmas. They fed us good, treated us good. We all had Christmas dinner and all that stuff. Stayed there for R&R, rest and relaxation. Fed us good. January 1st, New Year's Eve, we had booze. They furnished all that stuff. January 1st, they took all the booze. And they said, get ready, boys. And we started going. And we started from Tay Ninh, and we started just hopping, right toward the border. And when we got to the Cambodia border, we stopped, and we stayed there about a week. And then we went in. And then, I was, like I said, about the middle of February. And then Nixon told the American people he was going to invade Cambodia. And that's when he went in. A massive, just boom.
So you guys were the first ones into Cambodia?
We were one of the first units in Cambodia, and it was a line unit. It was 1st of the 8th.
Before the American people even knew that you're going.
The American people did not know we were in it. And he didn't, and then what they come up with is, I think it was 18 miles. I know it was. We could only go 18 miles and stop. And so we went in there, and that's when we, just total thousands upon weapons, tons and tons of rice.
So you agree that it was a good, at least militarily, reason
to
invade Cambodia?
Yes, it was one of the smartest moves that Nixon did to stop that war.
Even if the American people disagreed with it?
The American people had, what people don't understand, and just like me, I sit and watch TV, just like with Afghanistan. We don't know what's going on over there. Now the American people, it was already bad back here because it was a stupid, we got ourselves, the United States got in that when they didn't want to. Then they were trying to pull out, but they had to pull out with some kind of dignity or some kind of honor. They did not want to admit defeat. The American people back here were sick and tired of so many guys getting killed and so many guys getting messed up over there, when what was the purpose? Okay? So granted, the American people was mad and thought it was a stupid deal, but the thing is, in the long run, it was the best, it was a smart move, it was a good move. Now I was in it, I didn't want to go. And our captain came in and told us. And I've been in, and me and him was close. And he said, guys, get ready because we're going to start moving out. And I looked at him, we was getting ready and stuff, and I walked outside because I was an acting sergeant, and he had the sergeants there. And I asked him, I said, sir, his name was Captain Davis, awesome man. And I asked him, I says, where are we going? And he said, we're going to hell. Now that was his exact words, and I knew we were going into to some bad stuff, and we did.